Morning, everyone. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
It's all clear.
Okay. So in the last yesterday demo session, just I was briefing you about Python, right? Python is a general purpose programming language. It's a multi-programming features are included. It's a high level language. Like it's portable, can be easily understandable, right? Can run on all the hardwares. It's interpreted line by line execution, user friendly programming, which provides simple syntaxes which looks like normal English statements, right? Yes. So Python has got the following programming features like functional programming, object-oriented programming, scripting, and modular programming. Because of this modular programming, we say like a great boom for Python today, as it is most widely used in the implementation of different domains of different high-end technologies. So we see Python providing modules for each and every domain, right? Nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules we see for Python. And it's providing modules for data science, like separate modules we see for data science. We see separate modules for big data, for networking. Python is providing for testing, for GUI animations, for operating systems, for each and every database. Python providing a model for Oracle, for MySQL, for SQL Server, and for working with different types of files, Excel files, CSV files, XML files, JSON files, right? For mathematical operations, for statistics. So even for generating graphs, different types of graphs, right? We have got a model Python provides. Normal graph, bar graph, histogram, scatter plot, stack plots, any kind of graphs we can develop this one. Okay. And what kind of applications we can develop today by using Python? Mostly used for developing what, like web applications, automation applications, using technologies like data science, IoT, DevOps, for big data, for scientific applications, for graphical applications, for gaming applications, game development, right? Many games can be developed for scheduling tasks, for testing or test cases, for business applications, right? For software development, for database applications, network programming, right? Network programming. We have got a separate framework Python is providing, like twisted Python, web scraping. Scraping data. Okay. CAD application for computer aided design, embedded applications, audio and video applications, for creation of audio and video applications, right? Yes. And for computer vision, for face detection, object detections, right? We go for, and for robotics, for data analysis. Who are using Python today? Okay. Who are using Python? Means who are using Python today, and topmost applications built by using Python. Topmost applications built by using Python, right? So Google using Python for its web search systems, Yahoo using Python, and YouTube, right, for video sharing service, Instagram was built by using Python. NASA using Python for research and development activities. Uber using Python for its Uber. We have got algorithm like Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. Dropbox, Quora. These are the applications built by using Python. Pinterest, Netflix, BitTorrent. Okay, Pinterest and Netflix and BitTorrent, right? BitTorrent uses Python. Okay. Maya, MMOG, massively multiplayer online games. Reddit, Ironport email server, right? It uses more than 1 million lines of Python code for doing its job, right? iRobot, and for hardware testing, right? For hardware testing. So, see, like Google is one of the best example, like using Python, like Google using Python. Uh, so first web crawling was written in Java, but later it was rewritten in Python, right? So even Netflix using Python for its security automation and its for subscription purpose, right? So Dropbox, Reddit, Instagram choosing Python because of its simplicity and its practicality, right? So this what was discussed yesterday, right? The applications of Python, the features, and what are the features you see in Python, right? And the importance of models. Okay. Python comparison with other programming language. Python comparison with other Python comparison with other programming, right? Python comparison with other programming patterns. Just you can check how these Python statements look as compared with other programming languages, right? You can just check the coding wise, length wise, complexity wise. You can check how these Python statements are as compared with other programming. But I'll take a small task and I'll try to implement in multiple languages, right? Yes. Okay. I'll take a task and I'll try to implement this task in multiple programming languages, right? You can just check this how these Python statements look as compared with other programming, right? I'll write the code in multiple languages. You can just compare the code. Python code is not even 1/4 as compared with other programming languages. So I'll take a task like the accepting two values, from the user keyboard, accepting two values from the user keyboard, and performing addition. Right? Accepting two values from the user keyboard and performing addition of those two values, right? Yes. First, I'll write this code using Java. Later, I'll write in Python, right? You can just Java and Python are the two major programming languages for enterprise application development, right? Using Java first. Okay. Import java.io.star, right? class sample public static void main. So just taking two values and performing addition. Just I'm writing in Java first. Later I'll just write it in Python. Void main, right? String aux throws IO exception, right? Input stream reader, new input stream reader, buffer reader, buffer reader, BR equal to new buffer reader. System.out.println, system.out.println, right? Enter the first number, right? Enter the first number, right? Whatever number you are entering, right? Whatever number you are entering is by default, it is taken as string. BR dot read line. Later we are supposed to convert to integer to perform addition, right? Int I equal to integer dot parse int, integer dot parse int of s1, right? So I'll just copy these three statements for the second number also, right? Enter the second number, taken as string type, later converting to integer. These three statements. Enter the second number, right? String s2 int j. Finally saying system.out.println I plus j. Out.println I plus j. Every statement ends with semicolon here in Java, right? Closing this, right? Yes. Just to compare the code of Python and Java, right? So just I'm taking the code in Java first, just taking two values and performing addition, right? This is the code in Java. Just I'll take 1 or 2 minutes of time to compare Java and Python code, right? I'll take this into a separate notepad file, the Java code. Yes, save it. I'm saving it as okay. Just I'll create within the C drive. I'm creating a new folder for this batch, right? Python 6am, right? It's Python 6am, a new folder. In this, I'll be storing all the files, Python files, right? So here I'm as of now, like it's a Java file, sample.java, right? So I'll go to this command prompt, cmd, going to this command prompt. Right, 1 second. cd slash cd Python 6am, Python 6am, right? Within this Python 6am, Java C sample.java, right? Sample.java. Okay, no errors, right? If there are errors, to display the errors. If there are no errors, we can execute the code directly. No errors here. Java sample. Ask enter first number, then enter second number 20, right? And sum is 30, right? So just observe this coding of Java, right? To accept two values and to perform addition. These are the statements, right? I don't know like how many of you have understood this code, right? So to understand this, some basic Java knowledge is required. The statements looks little complex to understand, right? So what is class, what is public static void main, what is input stream reader, what is buffer reader, what is system, what dot out dot println, what is br dot read line. So these statements, to understand, right, we need to have minimum knowledge, right? The same task and just try to write in Python, not even 1/4 coding. I'll just, if you see here, we see like 10 to 12 lines of code, right? The same, and try to implement in Python with not more than 3 lines. Just I'll write the same code in Python directly within this IDLE, integrated development environment for Python. Okay, I open that. Directly I'll type this code in this Python. And input, enter value of x, enter value. This is the coding in Python, right? Enter value of x. Input, enter value of y. Enter value of y, right? Print x plus y. That's it. This is the coding in Python, right? For the same task, entering the value for x, store in x, enter the value of y, store in y, print x plus y. That's a code, right? So the statements look like normal English statements here. Like Java, they are not complex, right? And here, but in Java or in Python, if you are accepting any value from the user keyboard, they are taken as string type. We are supposed to convert to integer type by keeping everything within this int, right? So before storing the value in x, convert to integer and store. Before storing the value in y, first convert into integer and store, right? Yes. Enter value of x, enter value of y, print x plus y, right? Yes. Now just I'll save it. How to save this Python code, right? Any name dot py extension, right? Yes. Python 6 a.m. I created a folder for this batch, right? So I can save it with the name test any name dot py. Now here run this model, right? Yes. Enter value of x 10, enter value of y 20. Sum is what? 30, right? Yes. Value of x is 10, value of y is 20, sum is what? 30. Okay. Fine. So this is what the coding in Python, right? See this Java and Python code, right? Python code in 3 lines, very less coding you see as compared with any other programming language. Yes, this is using Python. So just I'll show you some more examples, right, to understand. If anyone from non-programming or from zero programming, right, you can just understand. I'll show you some sample examples of Python, right? You can easily understand the Python statements. Observe. If I take some values like this, in C or Java language, we say array of elements, right? Array of elements, but here we say So list of values, right? I'm taking some values, random values. Okay, 30, 10, 20, 50, 40. I've taken some 5 values. Print X, it prints the entire list as it is. If I want to know the number of elements, here you have taken 5 elements, but think that you have taken some 90 elements or 100 elements, hundreds of elements, right? If you want to know the number of elements present, len, there is a len function. Len of X returns the number of elements within that list. If I want to find the sum of all these elements, 30 plus 10 plus 20 plus 50 plus 40, just to say, in other programming language, we will apply loop on that, and the initial value we will take as some value as 0. You will iterate one by one element and will add one by one element to the sum, and you will compute, right? You will write some coding there. Here, just if I want sum on which list, X list, that's it. Sum of X means sum of all the elements of this. If I want to find the maximum element, right? Print max of X. Max of X, right? Print min of X for finding the minimum element, right? Yes. Run module, you can check this. Len of X is 5. Sum of all the elements, it's 150. Max of X is 50. Min of X is 10, right? So in this way, we have got many built-in functionalities in Python. I want to arrange all the elements in a particular order, sorted of X, right? Sorted of X. Arranging all the elements in a particular order, sorted of X. Yes. Observe this output, arranging all the elements in a particular order. 10 to 50, 10 to 50, right? Yes. If I want in descending order, you got in ascending, right? If you observe this output, you got the output in ascending. If I want in descending order, 10 to 50, you got. I want in descending. For descending, we doesn't have any separate function, but we just do perform the same sorted of X. It returns in ascending. If I reverse this ascending, you will get in descending, right? Just to say reverse equal to true. Fifty, 40, 30, 20, 10. Fine. Okay. As compared with other programming languages, right? Python has got interactive mode. Interactive mode means the users can easily interact with Python statement by statement, and Python gives response for each and every statement that you type, right? This feature you cannot see in other programming language like C or Java, right? So just go to command prompt, say Python, type Python and say enter. Just to display the Python version 3.10.4 and the interpreter, 3 arrow symbol you can see, right? An interpreter where you can type any valid Python statements. Any valid Python statements you can type, and you can interact statement by statement. So 5 plus 4, 6 into 3. X has 10, y has 5. If you're asking what is x value, what is y, what is x plus y, what is x minus y, what is x into y, x by y, x plus 4 or x plus 2, x into 2, x to the power of 2, double star, single star means multiplication, double star means power, 10 squared, 100. Okay. So in this way, you can just, for example, x equal to any valid Python statements you can type, right? And you can interact. X equal to hello, x into 3 prints hello for 3 times, x into 5 prints hello for 5 times. Any valid Python statements you can type and you can check, right, how the statements look. And if you want to come out of this, just say quit. If you want to come out of this Python, say quit, right? Thumbs up. So this feature you cannot see in other programming. Interactive mode supported by Python. Now coming to this, right, reasons. So Python is not a kind of programming language which is very recently introduced. It was introduced like 30 years back. Why all of a sudden you got boom for Python? Observe. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Okay, reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Yes. First one, the programmers or developers are attracted towards Python and they are migrating towards Python because of its very less coding, right? Very less coding we see in Python as compared with any other programming. Not even 1/4 coding we see. Yes. It's okay. Simple and easy syntaxes as compared with other programming. Hmm. Very less coding, simple and easy syntaxes. Multi-programming features we see in Python. Multi-programming features, right? Hybrid features we see in Python provides the features like scripting features, modular programming features, object-oriented programming features, and procedural-oriented features, right? Yes. Multi-programming features. Just now I said Python supporting interactive mode. Interactive mode. We can easily interact with Python statement by statement, right? Yes. And we can interact with Python statement by statement. Next, wide varieties of applications, right? Wide varieties of applications. Varieties of applications. I was discussing about the applications, right? For GUI applications, for animations applications, gaming applications, automation applications, web applications, desktop applications. networking applications, right? Many varieties of applications can be developed. Many built-in libraries. So many built-in libraries and models we see in Python, right? Thousands of models we see, right? And we see many built-in functions we see, by using which we can perform the operations in a simpler manner, right? So without writing huge codings. So these are the which makes the reasons which makes write very less coding, simple and easy syntaxes, multi-programming features, interactive mode, wide varieties of applications, and many built-in libraries. Okay, just I'll open Google and show you, right, the scope of Python and that. So reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? And I was just showing you the comparison of Python programming with other programming languages. Yes. A very small, you can ask Python supporting nearly 89,300 inbuilt modules for each and every domain, right? Okay. So the importance of models in Python, and see, observe this, how this Python coding will be. So two things you can observe now. One is the modules in Python, the models in Python, and how these codings of Python looks, right? These two things you can understand now. One more example. Okay. Observe this importance of models, right, in Python, and how these models look and the codings of Python, right? A commonly used model, right? I'm just discussing import math model, right? Just observe the codings of Python, how the statements looks, and also the importance of models. First to print, I want to check what is present within this math model. DAR, directory of math. If I say DAR of math, it prints all the directory of the math module, right? Okay, check it. What is the directory of this math module? Sin, sin h, square root, tan h, tau, all this, right? Pi, power, log, many mathematical functionalities. You can see some variables like pi is one variable, e is one variable, tau is one variable, right? So if you want to print their values, right, print the values of pi, print, okay, within the math module. Print math.e. So it prints the values of pi and e, right? Just observe this syntaxes of Python. Pi value is 3.14, e value is 2.71, right? For example, you don't know how to work with a particular functionality like that. You want some square root functionality, right? You don't know how to work within the square root. Okay. If you doesn't know about a particular functionality, how to work, Python is going to help you. There is a help function, right? Help on what? Within the math model, there is a square root. I want help on it. How to use it, how to work with square root. Just like print function, there is help function. Run module. Help on built-in function module in the square root. Its square root expecting one value x returns the square root of x. So we are supposed to provide one value x, it returns the square root of that value. Okay, print within the math model math dot sqrt, right? Math dot sqrt of 16. Only one value we are supposed to provide, right? 16 I provided. Can get the output for it. So if you say help, it will ask, it will say how many values I should provide. One value x returns the square root of that x. What is that? 4. Same way, if it doesn't know about a particular functionality within this module, right? We can get help. For example, any other function like power, right? POW. Help. Help on which module? A math module. On which function? Power function. Help on math dot power. Help on built-in function power in the module math. Power expecting, right? X comma y. Power of x comma y. Power of 10 comma 3 returns 10 to the power of 3, right? X to the power of 3. Okay, we are supposed to provide two values, x comma y. It returns x to the power of y. This is the power symbol in Python. It is saying x to the power of y. So just provide two values, right? Print math dot power of 10 comma 3. 10 comma 3 is what? 1000. 10 to the power of 3. Run module, right? Yes. 10 to the power of 3. That is what? 1000. One more example, right? The usage of modules. I'll just show you, right? Without any knowledge on Python, I'll just make you understand this Python code. Like just observe. I want to generate some graphs using Python. I want to generate some graphs using Python, right? Yes. So for generating graphs, right, we have got a module called matplotlib. Import matplotlib. Within that, we have got a property, built-in property called pyplot. Within this matplotlib, we have got a built-in property pyplot. Instead of using this very big name, matplotlib.pyplot, we can use alias name, shortcut name as P or PLT, right? So instead of this big name, we can use a shortcut name, alias name as PLT, right? Yes. PLT.plot. So here plt.plot, I want the x and y coordinates, right? For plotting any graph, we require x coordinates and y coordinates, right? X coordinates I'm taking as 1 2 3, for example 1 2 3, right? Y coordinates like 5 7 5 7 6. 1, 2, 3 are the x coordinates, 5, 7, 6 are the y coordinates. Based on this x and y coordinates, try to plot a graph. Just plt dot plot, plt dot plot, right? Yes. That's it. Save it. If I execute this code, right? If I execute this code, a graph will be generated. plt dot show. Sorry, plt dot not plot. Already we said plt dot plot. Plt dot show, right? show. Plt dot plot x and y coordinates. Plt dot show. In this way, you can see a graph, right? Yes. 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 6.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I have one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in previous uh, slide,
Maths.
yes, sir. Math dot predefined functions.
This one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
In output also, we are getting three arguments like three in. We are here using two values, but output forward slash is coming up. But why, sir?
Yeah. This is a small indication, right? It's a small indication.
Yes, sir.
These arguments are non-default arguments. We got some kinds of arguments in Python, right? Functions. Default
Yes, sir.
arguments, non-default arguments, keyword arguments, non-keyword arguments, arbitrary arguments. The slash indicates that these arguments are non-default arguments, means
Okay, sir.
compulsorily we are supposed to provide the values of x and y.
So could you explain with other example like non-default arguments without us?
See, a non-default means, for example, def. Okay, in Python we use function for functions. We use def keyword, display or compute function, compute, right? A comma b, compute a comma b, right? Z equal to c equal to a plus b, right? Print, I want to print the c value, sum equal to c value, right? Okay, just I want to get the sum, right? Sum value. So for example, compute a comma b, two arguments, c equal to a plus b, sum c, right? Yes. If I want, while calling this function, right, I'm calling this function compute. Compulsorily I need to provide these two values, a comma b. A comma b, a value 10 I'm providing, b value 20 I'm giving, right? So here these are non-default arguments. Non-default arguments means compulsorily we are supposed to provide the a and b value. Based on that, the c value gets computed. It's compulsory, so that's the reason the slash will be given here. After this I will use slash. Not compulsory, it's not mandatory, it's optional, right? Because we are supposed to provide the values for this x and y, a and b, 10, 20. Observe this output. Run model. Sum is 30, right? You got the output. But these are non-default, but there are some default arguments. In such case, no need to provide the values. Default arguments means like a equal to 30, b equal to 40, you will go directly here. This we called as some default values. Even if you're not providing here, this default values will be considered and computes the sum, right? Observe. Sum is 70, right? Yes. So later is sum equal to 70. This we called as default. Previously, if you are giving only A and B, we call as non-default. Later we'll be discussing these things in brief with multiple examples in our course. Right? Not only this, we have got many other arguments. Default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, arbitrary arguments, right? Yes. So just I was discussing about this math module and generating graph using Python. Any type of graph you can generate, right? So plt.plot means normal graph, plt.bar means bar graph, plt.hist means histogram, instead of PI means pie graph. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 6, right? If you want, okay, your age values are like this. For example, the age values are like this. For age 40 years, age 50 years, age 60 years, 70 years, right? The incomes are like this. Incomes for 40 years, 50,000. For 50 years, it's 60,000. For 60, it is 55,000. For 70. I want to plot a graph for this. Ages and incomes, salaries. Just say run model, a graph is generated for this. Means just I'm asking you to just observe this codings of Python and also the importance of models in Python. See that how simple generating graphs. So age 40, 50,000, age 50, 60,000, age 60, 55,000, age 70, 70,000. But I want some, okay, just you got a solid line graph, right, in blue color, but I want a dotted line. Just to keep comma and give hyphen, right? You will get a dotted line format. In this way, dotted line format. By default, you want in blue color, right? I want in different color. You can also keep comma again and set color equal to red color or any other color, right? Just I'll take 2 more minutes, right? Run model. You got in red color, right? So in this way we can, but I want some name for this x-axis. I want some name for this y-axis. I want some title for this, right? Title. Yeah. plt dot x label. X-axis label I want as age. plt dot y label income. X label is age, y label is income. Title I want plt dot title for this sample graph, right? Now, can you see this age value at down, income value here to the y coordinate sample graph, right? Yes. Yes, in this way, it's simple like generating graphs, right? And I'm just opening Google just to show that popular coding language. I'm just saying popular coding language, right? It's in last 2-3 years, right? Okay, just observe this. Top 10 programming languages, right? Top 10 programming languages from last 2 or 3 years. Python stands first. Next, JavaScript, Java, the other programmings. Most popular programming languages used by top 25 unicorns. Python stands first. Next comes Java, JavaScript. Just observe this. From last 4 years, if you compare this, the blue color one is Python. Next, orange color is what? 2018. Hash color 2019. Blue color 2020, right? Yes. So it's increasing, right? In the coming years, you can see more increase of Python, right? Yes. Python stands #1 ranked programming, right? The usage of Python is more as of now. So now, ranking wise, you can check this. Ranking wise, Python stands the #1 ranked programming, right? Yes. See the usage of Python currently. The usage of Python 31%, Java 19%, C++ 9%, C 6%. Even if you want to see that average salaries for Python and job openings for Python, just name Python stands #1 in that also, right? Python like see this average salaries or ranking, right? Based on job openings, based on what? Job openings, right? Okay, fine. So in this way, right? So Python has got a great boom, widely used today. The usage of Python also has increased. I was showing you this graph, right? Widely used in various high-end technologies like the data science with Python, big data with Python, IoT, robotics with Python, web applications creations with Python, right? Yes. So this is the course content that I'm going to discuss, right? In brief, in depth, right? Nearly 30 topics, Python basics, Python operations, operators in Python, Python IDs. In real time, we use IDs. I'm going to give the knowledge on these IDs. Flow controls. See, I'm going to show you like how to work within this Anaconda distributions. Anaconda, like prompt, Anaconda navigator, Jupyter notebook, Spider ID, right? Many different PyCharm ID, flow control statements, looping statements, strings in Python, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, collections, list, tuples, sets, and dictionaries, each and everything in brief. Python sets, Python dictionaries, functions in Python, modules in Python, working with modules, modular programming, how to import models, different ways of importing, renaming or package in Python, errors and exceptions, file handling, object-oriented programming concepts, database connectivity, Python data model, Python OS model, Python advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closure, GUI programming, Excel workbook, and introduction to data science, data analytics, and Python, some models related to them like Pandas model, NumPy model, and Matplotlib model. Right? Fine. Object-oriented programming is not the same thing, right? The same features you see in all the programming. Implementation is differing. Object-oriented programming features remains the same. Abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, all this remains the same in any programming language. It's not going to differ, right? So tomorrow also you can attend the session to see more on this Python, right? I'll be starting with the basic technical part from tomorrow. You can just observe this. Yes. So in the chart panel, there are some messages given by this online team, DURGASOFT online team, related to the payments details, payment process and procedure, right? You can just copy those things, right? Further, their contact details they have provided, the fees details, the many other course content, everything is provided in that. You can make a copy of it. Now, if you have got any queries, you can just go with your queries, right? Yes. Yes, Rohit, the session will be from Monday to Friday. Yes. Yeah, any other queries, right? Any other queries? Yeah, so fine. Still, if you have got any queries, you can ask me in the tomorrow session also, right? So yes. How many? Nearly like 300 plus code examples programs will be discussing, right? Nearly 300 code examples. 75 hours, totally 75 hours of course. 2.5 months it goes. In brief, in depth, we'll be discussing related to various domains, right?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, where is the video available?
So videos you'll be getting to your Google Drive, right? You can check in your Google Drive. Even if you've seen yesterday's video, if you have seen it, go to your Google Drive and check the shared with me option will be shared with me.
Okay.
You can check in that.
One more, sir. How to practice this session?
So clearly I will be demonstrating about the software, right? How to
Okay.
download, and how to install and how to work with it, right?
Okay.
And how to work with the IDs of Python in real time. We use IDs, right? How to download them, how to install, and how to work with that, right? That also I'll discuss.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So if I'm done with the queries, right? If there are any other queries, okay, you can even ask tomorrow also. So I'll sign off for today. Meet you tomorrow, same time. You can follow the same link to see more on this Python, right? Okay. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.